everybody, Chris with Night of Living Card Games. Continuing on into my 18th day, game day of Earthborne Rangers. I think we're getting near the end. We ended the last game. We managed to get into the Marsh of Rebirth and find the Seeker, or the Artificer that we were trying to. So now we have to get out of the Marsh of Rebirth and come over to the alluvial ruins to get what we need before we go try to flood out the reclaimers. So Marsh of Rebirth, once we travel through there, we can go to any location that is connected by a swamp path. So we can come right here to the Frowning Gate and then pop over to the ruins. All we got to do is actually get out of the Marsh of Rebirth. And because it is day 18, we have moved on to the Howling Winds weather again. And then because of the evasion stage 2, we are not at a ruin, forest, or mountain location, so we don't have to put that reclaimer polyp in, but we do have 2 reclaimer seekers in there. So we've got everything set up here, and now path deck assembly, we're using the swamp, and then lead ranger puts a Hydra Worm into play. Alright, let's go find a Hydra Worm. Put that into play. Let's shuffle up. Alright, let us draw our opening hand. Uru, Vaulting Rod, Healing Touch. Healing Touch. Who did this? Okay, so we're going to keep Bold, 1 Uru. We are not going to do the Vaulting Rod. We are not going to keep the second. I'm going to keep one of the healing touches. I'm going to chance it because the big thing is with the red challenge effects on the Hydra Worm, I just get an injury. So that is a risk. Ooh, another Bold. My goggles. And then one more into a headset. Okay. All right, got all my energy and stuff put together. So by the time I'm recording this, the GameFound campaign for the second printing just ended this a few days ago. They made just under $900,000 on it, or was it just over? I forget. It was right around there. So they did a great campaign for crowdfunding campaign for it. Lots of new stuff coming, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. Oops. Let's put the location in the right place. All right, start of the round, we draw a new path card. It is an Intrepid Marmot. All right, so let us spend 2 spirit to get an Uru out. I'm going to chance it. We're going to try to avoid the Hydra Worm. So we are going to do awareness plus conflict, but I don't have any conflict icons in my deck against the present, so it's 2 versus 2. +1, I succeed, so this is exhausted. Beautiful. I wanted to do that because if I get any red challenge effects, I'm not doing an injury. So Yellow Sun. For Howling Winds, I have to add 2 winds on here. And then, or I could suffer fatigue, up to 2 fatigue to add 1 fewer wind for each fatigue suffered. And then if there's 3 per ranger or more wind on this card, I have to draw 1 additional path card and then flip this card. I'm not going to take any fatigue this round. Nothing on the location. Nothing here. And then if there are no predators in play, well, there is. So, and let me make sure. Yeah, that is a predator. So good. And then this one is exhausted, so I don't have to look at that. All right. So the big thing is we just got to get out of here. So I want to get out of this swamp. 1, 2, 3. We're going to put both bolts in. We are going to be 7 versus 2. -1, so that puts me at, I succeed, obviously, and that puts me at 6. So, 6 progress on this. So that is enough for me to get the heck out of here this turn. Yellow Sun challenge effect. So now I get to decide. You know what? I am going to take 2 fatigue, so I don't flip that this turn. So I do not have to add, because I suffer 2 fatigue, I do not add any wind to that. Since we just started here, nothing in the missions, and we already did the marmot, so that is that. Just for the heck of it, I'm going to spend 1 to get my phonoscopic headset out, because I can. And then we are going to choose to rest. And I do have enough progress to travel, so I will travel. Right, so when you travel to any location connected to a swamp path and use the swamp terrain when you build that path deck. All right, so we are going to come out of the Marsh of Rebirth, pop over to the Frowning Gate, and so we can continue over to the ruins. So, all right, so let us get our... Oh, that's right, I was going to... You know what? I forgot to do this. I was going to do it. I've got 1 copy of my boat in play, or boat in my deck, and because it's set up, I can put that in after I do it. There's a little bit of a chance, risky, because it is 3 energy, or 3 gear slots, but I think there's a chance I'll be going on the river, so... All right, so I'm going to pause here and reset it up for the Frowning Gate. We have arrived at the Frowning Gate. Although the land around the swamp is thick with trees overgrown with moss and vines, you recognize the infamous Frowning Gate as you approach. Ancient trees curl over the path to form a gnarled arch, heavy with drooping curtains of moss and choked with vines. Beyond the arch, the trail descends to the depths of the swamp. I know, I just came out of the depths of the swamp. So the Frowning Gate is a location, water, and trail traded. Because it is neither ruin, forest, or mountain, I do not have to add the Reclaimer Polyp to this deck. Has a presence of 3. It has a progress threshold of 4 per ranger. Has a blue mountain challenge effect of remove 1 progress from a path card. If you cannot, suffer 1 injury. Ouch. And then on arrival, the lead ranger draws a path card. We have drawn an Overgrown Reactor. Interesting. I don't think I've seen this one before. So it goes along the way. It is a feature, machine, ruin, and flora traded. 2 presence, 4 harm, 6 presence. And it has a focus plus knowledge, threshold 2, to activate the rumbling dynamo to add 1 harm to each feature and being in play for every 2 effort. If you clear with harm, the crumbling structure churns the swamp. Draw a path card. If it is a Hydra Worm, it fatigues you. Blue Mountain, if there's an active Hydra Worm, it damages the foundation. Add 1 harm to this feature. And red, if there's a water feature within reach of 1 or more rangers, they feel a jolt. Those rangers suffer 1 injury. Ugh. All right. Well, now we are on the refresh phase. We draw a card into an Eagle Eye. And now top of the round, we are drawing a path card. Oh, we've got a Fetid Bog, too. All right, so I'll have to remember after a being is cleared by harm, attach it to this. Not that I think I'm going to be doing much in the way of harming creatures here. Now, thankfully, neither of these happen to be obstacles at the moment. So what I am going to do is I'm going to do a fitness test. I'm going to try to traverse. The location. I'm going to exhaust my roll card to dodge this, the reactor, and currently the fetid bog is a presence of 0. So I am a 3 versus a 3. Ooh, that ain't good. But I don't have any other icons to throw at this, and I really got to get out of here. So, actually, no. I'm going to try to get into my boat because the canoe says, if my ranger token is on the vehicle, treat the presence of the water of all water features as 1 lower and the presence of all non-water features as 1 higher. And the frowning gate is a water feature. So let me take a turn to do that. So I'm a 3 versus 1. -1. Good thing I did that, or I would have failed and I would have suffered an injury. So I succeed. So I get to put my ranger token on here. All right, now red challenge effect, nothing in the weather, nothing in the location. The reactor says if there is 1 or more water feature within reach, there is none. All right. I guess the question is, do I want to scout the path deck? No, I don't think I do at this point. I'm going to try to remember my ranger training to hope that I find some icons. So 1 versus 1. +1, I succeed. I'll exhaust that headset, so I get to look at 3 cards and draw 1. My Vaulting Rod, Healing Touch, and Riri. I can put them back in any order. So I think what I'm going to do is I am going to have the Vaulting Rod on top, followed by Riri, and followed by Healing Touch, because I want all 3 of those cards. I get to draw 1 now, and that's the rods, because that gives me an exploration icon for when I traverse next turn. All right. Oh, shoot. That's going to... All right, well, I guess that's just going to... I'm just going to have to let that pop because I want those cards. All right, so Yellow Challenge Sun. I'm not going to fatigue myself to prevent the wind. So we're going to be having 2 path cards this round. That's all that there is. And now I got to reshuffle that. So the thing I need to keep in mind is I've got most of my deck there. So the important thing for me is to just get the heck out of here. And if I have to take fatigue in order to get out of here, then so be it. I've got mostly a full deck at this point, so I will do what I got to do. Let's see. I definitely don't want to do Eagle Eye. Do I want to put down my goggles just because? Sure, I got nothing else to do, so I'll spend 2 to get goggles down, just in case I want to scout later. And that does take up all my gear slots now, so I can't put any other gear out without knocking something out. All right, so I will rest. I don't have enough progress to move anywhere or travel anywhere, so I'm going to refresh. Stand everything up. Energy, draw a card, which, as expected, is Riri. And now the weather flips over into Thunderhead, and now I have to draw 2 path cards. First one is Renkobo Merchant. What's Ren doing here in the swamp? The man's broad face has been weathered by years of strong wind, and his eyes are surrounded by a forest of wrinkles from a lifetime of squinting into the sun. He pulls his hand out of his pocket, the pocket of his long coat, and thrusts it forward. He speaks with the drawl of the Mississippian sea folk. Ken Robo's the name, he says. Traveling merchant and master of commerce of the Sunray Flotilla at your service. Perhaps you'd like to make a trade. If not, we can simply share the road. I see we're traveling in the same direction. All right, so he is friendly, he is persistent, and... oh, interesting. He is persistent, so he stays with us. And then 4 harm, 4 per ranger, progress threshold, and to clear him. All right. Now comes the second. It's Hydra Worms. Naturally, it's Hydra Worms. Hydra Worms. Why did it have to be Hydra Worms? Okay. All right, my turn. I'm going to try to dodge the Hydra Worms. I have the only icon I have to throw at it would be the Vaulting Rod, which I want to save for my Traverse test, so we're going to chance it. -1, I fail. Okay, Blue Mountain. So this location. Remove 1 progress from a path card if you cannot suffer an injury. Oh. Well, I just suffered an injury. Guess I should have had Oru do something first, and I'll remember this time that I have to discard my fatigue stack when I'm injured. All right, take a look here. So the Fetid Bog says, you may exhaust your roll. If you do not, this feature fatigues you. I'll let it fatigue me for 0. That's fine. And Overgrown Reactor says, if there's an active Hydra Worm, which there is, it damages the foundation. Add 1 harm to this feature. And the Hydra Worm says, if there is another Hydra Worm in the same area, there is not. All right, well, that is disappointing. All right, so we're going to have Oru move Ken Robo. I'm just going to call him Ken Robo all the time, apparently, now. Add some 2 progress. I am now going to try to traverse. I will be taking some fatigue from this. I'm going to choose to dodge the Hydra Worm because this Overgrown Reactor, since it... oh, no, it is not water traded, so... and neither is a Hydra Worm, so it doesn't really matter. I take 2 fatigue regardless. But the main path is... the main location feature is a water, so it is a 2. So I'm a 3 versus a 2. 0, I succeed with a progress of 3, effort of 3. So that's better, but not enough to get me out of here this turn. The Fetid Bog fatigues me for... oh no, I suffer another injury? Oh no. Well, this could be a really short day. Oh no, hang on a second. No, I'm not going to do that. I can remove progress from stuff. I'm going to remove it from Ren Kobo. Whew. All right, this does take another damage from the Hydra Worm, and there's no other Hydra Worm there. So I am going to choose to rest. I should have thrown... I drew this card specifically so I could throw it into the test. I don't know why I didn't this last time. That would have given me enough to travel. Not thinking straight. All right, well, I'm going to choose to rest, and because I have an injury, no, I only have 1, I fatigue 1. And now we ready everything up. Draw a card into a walk with me. And now we get a... oh. The weather flips back over, and now we draw a path card. It's more Hydra Worms, because of course it is. Okay, my turn. I am just going to suffer a whole boatload of fatigue. Well, shoot. The problem is, if I do that, So the Hydra Worm says, if I do, yeah, I should have done this last turn, honestly. I'm going to spend 1 for this healing touch that I have to heal the injury. All right. So that way I can avoid the injuring out, because if you get 3 injuries, your day ends. All right, so I'm going to commit the Vaulting Rod and 3 fitness to against a threshold of 2. So I'm a 4 versus a 2. I am going to dodge 1 of the Hydra Worms and suffer 2 from the Hydra Worm and 2 from the reactor. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Oof. -1, I succeed with a effort of 3. Right, and now blue challenge effect. So I need to remove a progress. Sorry, Ken. We add a damage because it's not for each Hydra Worm, it just says if there is one. I will let the Fetid Bog fatigue me for 0. And then one of these Hydra Worms says, if there's another Hydra Worm in the same area as this one, which there is, they spread out. Move this being. Okay, that is that. I don't know why I care, but we're going to have Oru move and add 2 progress to Ren Kobo. And then we are going to choose to rest. And we have enough progress, so we are going to travel. So we are going to travel from the Frowning Gate through the ravine to the Alluvial Ruin. So I will pause as I get that set up. We have made it to the Alluvial Ruins. And because the mission is Journey to the Alluvial Ruins, instead of reading the normal entry, we have to read 1.50 to complete the mission. So read 1 entry based on how many days have passed since receiving the Journey Alluvial Ruins mission. So that was day 17, so 0 to 1. All right. You climb to the top of the ruined tower Aell described, careful to avoid the reclaimers nesting throughout the ruins. You see Aell sitting on a small, well-concealed shelter. He beckons you over. I made good time on my errand, he says, patting a cloth-wrapped conduit lying next to him. I'm glad you did the same. He leans close. You weren't kidding. There's so many reclaimers here. All right, then Rangers choose. Either we rest first, we end the day, or there's no time to waste. Well, given how I've been going through this whole campaign, I'm going to say there is no time to waste. You lock eyes with Aell as he nod to each other. He carefully unwraps what appears to be a long wooden cylinder woven through with delicate copper wire. He picks it up, and it makes a hissing sound like a far-off deluge. The hairs on your arms start to rise as he begins to channel through the conduit, and you can feel the humidity rise and the wind pick up. Position yourself upstream, he says. It may take hours for the flooding to begin. Once it does, you're going to need to direct the flow of water for maximum effort. Otherwise, this whole place may be washed away, or we may not hit the nest at all. Aell adjusts his hat and flashes a confident smile. Just let me know if you need assistance, and keep those reclaimers off me. With that, he raises his conduit, and the skies instantly darken. Clear Aell with progress to move a flood card. Okay. Complete the Journey Alluvial Ruins mission and gain the Washed Away mission. Okay. Let's go find Washed Away. Washed Away. All right, so wash away the reclaimers with Aell floods. When a reclaimer is discarded by a flood, do not suffer fatigue. Instead, add 1 progress to this card. And at the end of the day, if you haven't completed this mission, read passage 122. Ooh, maybe I should have rested. Have at least two per ranger progress on this mission and read it. Okay, well, that's gonna be interesting. Okay, search the March of Rebirth set. Oh, I'm sorry, hang on. Replace the current weather with downpour. All right. Search the March of Rebirth set for Aell, Ambitious Shaper, and put him into play within reach of a ranger of your choice. Do not read his entry. Search the general set for all Reclaimers and shuffle them into the path deck. Oof. That is 5 of them. Finally, after you've completed the arrival setup, search the general set for 1 Flood and put it into play. Okay, so we've got all 5. And this is a ruin location, so I did have to put the Reclaimer Polyp in there as well. Oh, I do get to take the... Oh, I just realized in looking at this. I grabbed the wrong set. This is the river set. I'm like, I haven't seen these cards before. But I do get to take out the Cyclone because I no longer am in... I'm no longer in that weather. All right, let me shuffle these up again. All right, so 5 Reclaimer Seekers. And I have to get 2 of them washed away by a flood. Ugh. Okay, and then real quick, the Alluvial Ruins. It's 2 progress, 2 presence, 4 per ranger threshold on it, but realistically, I don't think I'm going to be leaving here, so. And then, oh, I've got to do the detritus deck. Okay. All right, I'm going to pause real quick because that's going to take me a few seconds to get those out and shuffle them up, and nobody needs to sit around waiting for me to do that. All right, we've got the detritus deck set up here, and now we've got our flood card, which attach it to play, and then we're trying to get flood tokens on here equal to, or no, greater than the presence of the being. Ooh. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this now with this, but whatever. So we'll give it a try. All right, draw 1 card from the detritus deck. Oh, look, it is a Bloodbeck Velox Ambush of 2. Lovely. And now we add the flood to it. All right, now we ready everything up. We draw a card, which is quiet, which is actually really nice. Let me just check here real quick on the flood. Oh, okay, so when the flood is attached, you actually move it to along the way, so that is currently there. So it still came to me first and ambushed me. Okay. Alrighty, well, let's do some stuff. All right, first things first, let's spend 2 to get quiet out. Let's try to connect with Aell. So 2 to 1. -1, I succeed with a progress of 1, which is fine because now he is in Oru range. Yellow Sun, or no, Blue Mountain. See, the location is if you're interacting with the water feature. Nope. The VLOC says if there's no active prey and the Whispering Fields is in play. There is no active prey, but the Whispering Fields is not in play. All right, I think what we're going to do here is we're going to spend 1 for Eagle Eye, and we'll use our headset to scout 4 and then draw 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Skittish Opalion, Loose Boulders, Fraying Rope Bridge, and Nyctabats. None of those do I want. So we will put them all on the bottom. And draw, and it is a Reclaimer Seeker. Fortunately, it is an ambush. So there is no way we're going to be able to get 2 of these guys taken care of. We'll be lucky if we even get 1. Okay, so Oru is going to move Aell, Ambitious Shaper. And add 2 progress to him. So we do clear him with progress. And it says clear Aell with progress to move a flood card. So we'll do that. Let me just see. Let me read his entry to see if anything happens there. Yes. Spiraling streams of thick white vapor rise up around Aell as he raises his conduit into the air. The staff roars like a distant thunderstorm, and sparks leap up from its tip and into the cloud above. You can see roiling thunderheads stretched to the horizon, ready to dump their payloads of rain. Aell spins his conduit with a flourish, and the sky darkens even further. You may attach a flood card to a path card of your choice, then remove all progress from Aell. Okay. Okay. I don't really have anything else to do here, but I need to get... Yeah. I don't know. We'll play this out and see how it goes, but I should have rested. So we got to take tests because we need this stuff. So let us try to remember our ranger training, 1 to 1. I succeed, so I get to look at 2, my mucus, and versatile. I'm going to take mucus, and sure, I'll leave versatile on the top as well. Blue, nothing there. Add 1 token to the weather. Nothing there because Whispering Fields is not in play. And add 1 mucus token to the location. If there are 3 or more, go get a polyp. Okay, so this is my turn. I'm actually now going to spend 1 for the Reclaimer Mucus and put it on the Reclaimer Seeker. So now its presence is 0. So if I just get 1 flood token on it, I can, that will be enough to clear him out. Well, no, I need 2. All right, well, whatever. I'm going to try to pet my dog 1 to 1. I succeed, so I get to ready him and refresh a card, which is my Camo Weave Cloak. That's nice. Yellow Sun. I get fatigued 1. That's not good. And now, add 1 progress to the location. Okay. This says add a flood token to the attached card. So 1, and then the Reclaimer Seeker moves. All right, so we've got one out of 2. Oru's gonna go let's just clear Ren Kobo out of here. And trade, you say? Ren sweeps out his hands. Well, of course you do. I've been from the... Oh, wrong accent. Trade, you say? Ren sweeps out his hand. Well, of course you do. I've been from the Mississippian Sea to the fortresses of the Ice Clans, and I've laid eyes on the great ocean, if you can believe it. And I have something from everywhere I've visited. He goes to his wagon and starts pulling out items. Now, let's see if I can find something to tickle your fancy. Each ranger may return a gear from their hand to the collection. If they did, choose a starting gear card, etc. If you don't trade with Ken, which I won't, soothe to fatigue. Versatile and my sketchbook. All right, and then Ken is discarded. All right, well, we're going to end my turn because there's nothing else I can do. I'm going to rest. Get my energy back. Draw a card, which is Walk With Me. And now we draw a path card. Okay. It is a web wall. Oh, beautiful. All right, that's fine. I am going to have Oru come and bring Aell close to me. I am going to try to pet my dog. I'm not really using it for anything else. Actually, let us try to... Let's try to avoid the Reclaimer Seeker. That is a presence of 0 because of the slime. So I'm a 2 versus a 0. Beautiful. So I do succeed. He is exhausted. Now, the Red Crest Challenge effect. Nothing on the weather, nothing on the location. I suppose the mission does trigger because there are no active Reclaimers because I exhaust him first. So go get the next Reclaimer and put it into play. Which is effectively going to end the game for me. What's the next card in the deck? Because that does ambush me for 2. It doesn't end the game right now because it's the next time I draw something. All right. Velox. If a ranger is injured, exhaust is being suffered injury. I am not. Web wall. Move your ranger token to this feature and then move this feature within reach. Ugh. So I am stuck in the web wall. Not that it's going to matter much in a moment. And then the flood says, if the number of flood tokens on this attached card is greater than its presence, which now it is, discard it. Each ranger suffers 3 fatigue. But the mission says... let's see here. Or no, the mission says, all right, when a Reclaimer is discarded by a flood, which that just happened, Do not suffer fatigue. Instead, add 1 progress to this card. Okay, and then the flood response also says, when this card enters or its attached card leaves play, attach it to the feature or being with the highest presence that doesn't have a flood on it. So 2 is the highest, so I'm going to choose to put it on the Reclaimer Seeker. All right, but the Reclaimer Mucus is discarded, unfortunately. All right, I don't even know what to do here now. So can I actually? No, because I need a yellow sun to add tokens to this, which will cause me fatigue, which will end my day. So nothing really matters at this point. So, well, actually, oh no, that's not. So I was thinking the Camel Weave Cloak would allow me to ignore fatigue, but only from a path card. So weather is not a path card, so I can't do anything about that. So yeah, I am pretty much done for the day, but we'll try it. Let's just try to pet the dog. 3 to 1. I succeed, so I get to ready and soothe the fatigue, which is my vaulting rod. Blue Mountain, I am not interacting with the water feature. If there's no active prey and the Whispering Fields is in play, no. Whispering Field is not in play. Add 1 token to the weather. And if add 1 mucus counter. And nothing for the web wall. Yeah, there is absolutely no way I can do anything about this, is there? I am stuck in a web wall with a Reclaimer Seeker about to be flooded away while I'm in a canoe. Well, I'm no longer in a canoe, I suppose. And there's a Velox wandering about. And I am just tired. So let us... Whatever, we are going to use my Hydroland goggles. We will commit... Oh, no, I don't have any awareness tokens to do that. So what are we going to do? We're going to try to connect with the Reclaimer Seeker. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I am an 8 versus 2. -2, I succeed with a total effort of 6. And now, red challenge effect. Velox says, if a ranger is injured, nope. Not yet, at least. If there's an active predator, exhaust it. And add harm to this being equal to that predator's presence. Ooh, I wonder what happens if Aell gets damaged. Well, I guess my day just ends. And let's see. If the number of flood tokens... Nope. Actually, that didn't end my day. It doesn't matter at this point. Let's remember my ranger training. Actually, I'm just going to rest. It doesn't matter. I rest, and then I can't travel So I do my refresh phase, and I draw a card, and there's nothing for me to draw, so I end up my day fatigued. So now, because I haven't completed the mission, I have to read entry 122. Hopefully this doesn't completely end the campaign or anything like that. With a grinding roar, end of the day, if you haven't completed this mission. With a grinding roar, the deluge of dirty brown water bursts through the ruins. They collapse under the seething torrent, massive stones tumbling end over end and ancient walls bursting into rubble. You see the tiny shape of Aell, his conduit held defiantly towards the sky, just before the torrent takes him off his feet and sweeps him away. Then the water hits you, and you're swept under the surface and black out. Complete the washed away and invasion missions. Okay. You come to, gasping and spluttering. You sit up, realizing you're on the shores of the Silverfin. You see the river is swollen near bursting, and as you watch, you make out the corpses of reclaimers being carried along with the current. You can hear a throbbing roar in the background, and you look around to get your bearings. The spirit of the Silverfin is with you, a voice says. You turn to find Elder Cormac Weller studying you intently. You ask what he means. The river carried you here, to Tumbledown. He gestures, and you see several villagers by the river, maintaining makeshift flood walls along the banks. We managed to fish you out just before you fell over the falls. You tell Elder Wellers of your mission to rid the Valley of the Reclaimers, and how you enlisted Aell's help to do it. A dangerous, brave, and foolish plan, he says, but you'll be happy to know that it worked. The river is thick with reclaimers. They're all washing over the falls. Write reclaimers washed away on the campaign tracker. For a moment, you're filled with relief, but then you remember Aell. You ask Elder Wellers if he managed to save him too. I'm sorry, he says. We haven't seen anyone else. It's a miracle you survived. We should be grateful. Write Aell lost on the campaign tracker. Permanently remove Aell from the Marsh of Rebirth set. He puts his hand on your shoulder. Once you're feeling up to it, you better get back to Lone Tree Station. I expect Elder Thrush will want a report. Proceed to the travel phase and select Tumbledown as your new location. Use the Mountain Pass train set. Gain Journey Lone Tree Station mission. Complete the Remove the Reclaimers mission. Return all Reclaimers in play to the General set. Return all Flood cards to the General set. Well, I'm not really sure how I'm supposed to proceed to the travel phase since my day is over. So, I guess these are all gone. Oops. So I think what we're going to do is we're just going to end the day. I think we'll just end the day. We're starting at Tumbledown with the Mountain Pass set, and we're trying to get to Lone Tree Station. All right, so we are Tumbledown. Ooh. So we are all the way at the bottom here, and we have to make it all the way up to Lone Tree Station. So I think we might try the canoe out. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 versus something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess it saves us 1 travel. Yep. Yeah. So it's 5 versus 6. But that is a problem for another day. So we have completed those missions. So have the reclaimers washed away. But Aell is lost. Yeah, definitely. Future reference, next time I play this thing, I really need to I really need to rest before I hit this thing up. All right, so that's completed. Get all my missions here. So now we've got Journey to Lone Tree Station on day 18. All right, so we're going to wrap this up, and then hopefully, if things go well, in a day or two, I'll be able to get up to Lone Tree Station, and I suspect that will end the campaign, but I don't know for sure. If I knew the campaign, I wouldn't have done what I did. So, sorry, Aell, but, this was kind of your fault to begin with, so, tough. But, all right, if you made it this far, thank you as always for watching. I do appreciate it. I will be back before too long to wrap up this campaign, and then once I've wrapped it up, I think I'll do a review, give my thoughts on the campaign, gameplay, and all that fun jazz. So thank you as always for watching. If you want to see the end of the campaign, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you like what you saw, hit the like button, and feel free as always to leave me a comment about anything I did wrong besides not resting before I took the mission on, or made game mistakes, or anything else you want to see. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you for watching, and have a great night.